So go to document color, file, document color mode, and here you see RGB is selected, and here's CMYK. Okay, so now when I select this, this shows up as RGB. Oh, I see why. Okay, I was in RGB mode when I selected that. When we did I added that as a group. Let me show you. Actually, let me show you what I did. Let me go back and show you what I did. Okay, go back to color guide. So here I have. Actually, it'd be good to do it with this. So here I want to have that. So I double click because it was selected what was in the main color. So now it's the main color. And now here I want to save this color group. So this is the new color group that I have. And I want to save that to the swatch panel. And I go to the swatch panel and I go down, and here's this color group that I select. So as you can see, while I was preparing, I selected that a few times. So now here's how you can get rid of all of that. So just delete. Yes, delete the swatch select. So this is how you can delete swatches. Or I can select on the folder and delete that. Yes, I want to delete that. Okay, delete this folder. Okay, so now you can see once you choose a color grouping that you like, you can save it in your swatch panel here. All right, now unfortunately right now I just changed these to RGB. So let me go back, because these are RGB colors, which I don't want. Oh, this is CMYK. Okay, so it's the same color. Yeah, because we did change that. All right. So now, but I want this to go back to RGB, to CMYK. So let me go back up here, choose my CMYK blue, and here's cyan right there. And now I'm back to cyan. So every color that I've selected in here will have a box around it to show me what's been selected. So this is my CMYK magenta, and here's my CMYK yellow, and this should be my key color here, which is black. All right, now you may notice that there's a lot of things going on here, and that means that I have all my swatches shown. So I can just show the color swatches, I can just show the gradient swatches, I can just show the pattern swatches, and I can show the color groups that I've created and that were already the default. So let me go back to show color swatches, and now also there's something in here that you may notice, that some of these squares in the color swatches have nothing on them, they're just plain, and some of them have little rectangles, triangles in the corner, white triangles. Okay, now the reason for that is that the small triangles indicate something that's a global color that can be changed throughout the document, whereas non-global colors, such as this cyan, will only affect the object that I've selected. Okay, so global will select all the colors that use this, and even though this cyan may be in many parts of the document, it's only going to change here. Okay, so how can you make something global or unglobal? You go to swatch options and CMYK, and here you can choose global, and let's preview that. And so you see now there's a white triangle in the corner, so now it's a global color. So now every instance of that color will be changed. So let's just click that for now. Okay, so now we're back to where we began. Okay, so now I've shown you I've shown you how you can create colors. This is how you can change colors. So again, you go into your swatches, but let's say I've shown you where everything is. So now let me go back up and get to some of the things I told you I would get to. Okay, now I'm going to go to color books. Everything else are different swatches that you do, but these color books refer to some print uses that were done before the computer. Because before this, you see these Pantone colors. So let me just go here, Pantone Coded, and you get this whole library, because in the color picker, I show you where you can put numbers in or names. And what happened is that previously, when you went to a printer, okay, look at me, look up here now, you would have to give a color swatch. And this is for, like, it's just very important, because if you want logos to be consistent across platforms, you need it to choose a color. So it has Pantone green 33U, so that would be the number that would be used, and you give a color swatch to the printer. So now, anytime your logo is printed and you want that specific color, or clothing was made, anything, this was the way to get color consistently. And so this is still in use today, and now it's in the computer. So rather than buying this, and well, this is a main thing that had all the colors in it, but usually has swatches that you can tear off and give to the printer. Now you can still choose your colors here. So if I wanted to use a Pantone color in my document here, I was selected. Now this is a Pantone color, and you see it's appearing here, and it has Pantone P4-HC, and the C stands for coded, because you have uncoated and coded colors. We also have process and process colors, which give you more of a range for that millions of tones of color. Now also I can search. So let's say I want to search for 33U. Oops. And it should be popping up here. Let's see. Okay, so Pantone P13. Okay, so if I start it, then it'll finish it. So, so that's 3. And just select this. Oh, it's searching within the color that I already range selected, so it's assuming that that's what I want. Okay, so again, this is where you would search for it. Okay, now let's close this. And also, these color swatches stay available. I mean, they don't join your swatch palette until you're already you've already chosen color. So here I've chosen the color here, so I can go back, just Command Z, and go back to the yellow CMYK color that I've chosen. But it still remains, even though I'm not using it anymore, it's still there in the color palette. So let's say you've got everything done, and you want to get rid of the colors that you haven't used, because you don't need all of this stuff. So you can go here, you can select all unused colors, and here you can just delete the color selection, and which I've shown you. So this is another way to delete the colors. Rather than choosing specifically, you can find out which ones you haven't used in your document and then get rid of those. So now you can stay pretty clear on what you want. And also, let me show you how to save the group. So if these are your colors, and this is for your document, you can go to a new color group. So everything that you've created in this group become a new group. So now you can use these colors again, especially if you spend some time mixing, the color picker and everything else. So this becomes your new color group. But I actually only have yellow selected. So that's why that's new, because it picked up what I had here. So let's say you wanted this whole thing to become your new color group. So now I'll select new color group 2. And now this becomes my new color group here. So it's in a folder that I can refer to. Of course, you want to give it a more imaginative name, and so you can easily remember it, because if you just give them numbers, you won't know what. So hopefully it refers to the job that you're working on. Okay, there's going to be a part 2 to this, because there's so much to talk about with color. So let's end here for today, and let's pick this up again in lesson 9, which will be part 2 of color.